In real addressing mode of operation of 80286, it just acts as fast as 8086. The instruction set is upward compatible with that of 8086. 80286 address only 1 MB of physical memory using A0 to A19. The lines A20 to A23 are not used by the internal circuit of 80286 in this mode. In real address mode, while addressing the physical memory, the 80286 uses BHE bar along with the A0 to A19. So the 20-bit physical address is again formed in the same way as that of 8086. The contents of segment registers are used as segment base address. The other registers, depending upon the addressing mode, contains the offset addresses. Just like we are having SI for data segment, DI for the extra segment, SP stack pointer, BP for the base pointer. In the same way, these offset registers and segment registers can be used, but because of extra pipelining and other circuit level improvements in real address mode, also the 80286 operates at a much faster rate than 8086. Although the functionality they work in identical fashion as 8086, the physical memory is organized in terms of segments of 64 KB maximum size. In the same way, 80286 way also. An exception is generated if segment size limit exceeded by the instruction or data. The overlapping of physical memory segments is allowed in to minimize the memory requirements for the task. 80286 reserves two fixed areas of physical memory for system initialization and interrupt vector table. In real mode, the first 1 KB of memory starting from address 40H to 003 FFH. This is reserved for interrupt vector table, that is 1 KB, first 1 KB, and also addresses, that is 4F0H to 5FH are reserved for the system initialization, that is where we are storing operating system, etc. The program execution starts from 4F. After the reset and initialization, the interrupt vector table of 80286 is organized in same way as that of 8086. Some of the interrupt types are reserved for the exception, single stepping, processor extension, segment overrun, etc. When 80286 is reset, it always starts the execution in real address mode. In real address mode, it performs following functions. It initializes the IP and other registers of 80286. It prepares for entering protected virtual address mode. Now let us start with the main point. Protected virtual address mode. So before starting, okay, let us continue. 80286 is the first processor to support the concept of virtual memory, which we have seen during the start of this chapter. Virtual memory and memory management is supported by 80286. Virtual memory doesn't exist physically. It still appears to be available within the system. It means I feel that my program size is 2 MB. It means I am having the physical memory greater than the 2 MB. No. Here, even though my physical memory is 1 MB, still with the concept of memory management, we can execute 2 MB, the program length, which is greater than the physical memory size, into the memory. The concept of virtual memory is implemented using physical memory that the CPU can directly access, and secondary memory that is used as a storage for data and program. See here, whatever my 2 MB program is there, that will be stored onto the secondary storage, and it feels that microprocessor is executing instructions from the secondary memory. Now the segment of the program or data required for the actual execution at that instant is fetched from the secondary memory into the physical memory. After the execution of this fetched segment, the next segment required for the further execution is again fetched from the secondary memory. while the results of executed segments are stored back into the same segment and to the secondary memory for the further references. This continues till the complete program is executed. So during the execution, the partial results of previously executed operations are again fetched into the physical memory if required for the further processing. The procedure of fetching the chosen program segment or data from the secondary storage into the physical memory is called swapping. Swapping, it means reading the segment into the physical memory, required segment into the physical memory, or swapping can be also called as swapping in. And procedure of storing back the partial results or data back on the secondary storage is called as unswapping or swapping out. The virtual memory is allocated per task. It means here we are allowing for the virtual memory concept. So 80286 is able to address 1 GB, that is 2 raised to 30 bytes of virtual memory per task. The complete virtual memory is mapped onto the 16 MB physical memory. That 2 raised to 24, that is there are 24 lines of 80286 are there. So 2 raised to 24 makes it 16 MB physical memory. If program larger than 16 MB stored onto the hard disk is to be executed if it is fetched in terms of data or program segments of less than 16 MB in size into the program memory by swapping sequentially as per the sequence of execution. So whenever the portion of program is required for execution by the CPU, it is fetched from the secondary memory and placed in physical memory is called as swapping in and swapping out of the swapping out. So in case of huge program, generally greater than the physical memory in size, they are divided into either smaller segments or pages which are arranged in appropriate sequence and are swapped in or out of primary memory as per the requirement. So here whatever physical memory we are calling, there are many terms used for this. Primary memory, main memory can be called. So the whatever segments are there, we are swapping in and out of primary memory for the execution of complete program. So these segments or pages, that is a program is divided into number of segments or pages, have been associated with the data structure called as a descriptor. So here descriptor is a data structure which is maintaining information about the segments or pages. So this descriptor is separate for the each program. It means there can be multiple tasks we are executing. So during these tasks, if multiple tasks are executing, multiple descriptors will be there. So this will maintain the data like how many segments are there, what is the segment starting address, how much size is there, etc. So this data structure maintains information about the segments. So program segment or pages information is containing into descriptor. A set of such descriptors arranged in proper sequence describe the complete program called as a descriptor table. So descriptor table stores the information about these descriptors, and in case of multi-programming environment, many of such descriptor tables are available, and these all are managed by operating system, that is they are created and manipulated and managed by operating system. 80286 uses a 16-bit segment register as a selector to address a descriptor stored in physical address. So here let us see the figure for this, how to calculate this. So here we can see a descriptor table is used here, segment descriptor table, that there can be multiple segments. Here based on the program, that which type of program or which type of pages I wanted to load, it can be data operand, it can be any stack, or it can segment type can be of any type, that it is a code or it is a data or it is a stack, etc. So in that case, based on this segment type, different segment descriptor will be there, and based on that this will be maintained into some descriptor table. So table is always available into physical memory, that need to be loaded into as a part of physical memory, so that the required segment can be swapped in or out. So here this is how the physical address calculation takes place. So here selector, this out of 24 takes us 16 bits in order to select a particular segment, and offset value is added to the physical address, and segment base address is also available. So on this basis, which memory operand or instruction is to be loaded, or a segment to be loaded, that is calculated. So this is different task as that of the calculation of physical address in case of real addressing mode. So here protected virtual address mode, protected is called just because here we don't know here that all the segments, that is stack, data, code, these are separated just because they should not get overlap. That's why this is called as a protected mode. So this is all about 80286 protected mode. So now let us go to the next part, that is a 80386 architecture. 80386 is advanced at that of the 80286. So the complete architecture of 80386 is divided into three main units: central processing unit, memory management unit, and bus interface unit. And again there are subunits in CPU, execution unit and instruction unit, in MMU, that is memory management unit, segmentation unit and paging unit. So let us see the figure. So this is the complete architecture of 80386. So initially this seems like a difficult, but there is not much difference between the 80286 architecture and 80386 architecture. So here we cannot see the boundaries regarding separation of units, but this is seen almost a few differences are there in case of 80386. 80386 there are multiple units, 3 units. Execution unit. Execution unit has 8 general purpose registers and 8 special purpose registers, which are either used for handling data or calculating the offset addresses. Instruction unit decodes the opcode bytes received from the 16-byte instruction code queue and arranges them in 3 instruction decoded instruction queue. After decoding these, pass it to the control section for deriving the necessary control signals. The barrel shifter increases the speed of all shift and rotate instructions or rotate operations. The multiply and divide logic implements the bit shift rotate algorithm to complete the operation in minimum time. Even 32-bit multiplications can be executed within 1 microsecond by multiply and divide logic. The memory management unit consists of segmentation unit and paging unit. Segmentation unit allows a use of two address components, that is segment and offset, for relocability and sharing of code and data. Segmentation unit allows segment of size 4 GB at max. So here 80286 was having capacity of only 1 GB. 80386 is having capacity of 4 GB. The paging unit organizes the physical memory in terms of pages, that is whatever segmentation of main program we are going to perform. So here pages stands for the fixed size segments, that is 4 KB size each. The paging units works under the control of segmentation unit. Each segment is further divided into pages. The virtual memory is also organized in terms of segments and pages by the memory management unit. Segmentation unit provides 4-level protection mechanism for protecting and isolating the system code and data from those of application program. So here segments are not overlapped, so these are always non-overlap. And paging unit covers the linear addresses into physical addresses. The control and attribute PLA checks privilege at page level. It means whether access is allowed or not. Each of the page maintains paging information of the task, limit and attribute PLA check segment limit and attributes at segment level to avoid invalid access to the code and data in memory segments. The bus control unit has prioritizer to resolve the priority of the various bus requests. So here, in case of bus request, we always go for the priority, and on that basis prioritizer decides whether access is allowed or not. So this section controls the access of the bus. The address driver drives the bus enable and address signal A0 to A31. The pipeline and dynamic bus sizing unit handle the related control signals, and data bus interface the internal data bus with the system bus. So this is all about the architecture of 80386. Now let us move to the last point of the 80486. So here I have covered few features of the 80486. So the main features of 80486 are: this is a 32-bit processor. 32-bit processor stands for the 32-bit data bus. Next, the main feature is that it is having built-in math coprocessor. This coprocessor is essentially same as it means previous math coprocessor like 80287, 80387 used with the 80386 or 80286, but being integrated on the same chip allows to execute math instructions about 3 times as fast as previous math coprocessors. It means whatever combination 80286 and 80287 are having, or 80386 or 80387 are having combination 3 times much more, this is going to execute the instructions. 80486 is an 8 KB code and data cache. So here up to now we are learning about segments and pages. Now we will learn about the data cache, and to make room for the additional signals, 80486 is packed in a 168 pin. Here 168 pin grid array. Packed, it means 80286 was having 68 pins, 80386 was having 132 pins, and this 80486 is having 168 pins. So this is a major change in case of 80486. So now let us move towards the architecture. So it contains units like bus interface unit, bus control, parity generator and control unit, boundary scan control unit or prefetcher unit, and instruction decoder. So execution units are also there, but I have not listed there, sorry for this. So let us see the complete architecture. So this is the architecture of 80486. So this seems like similar to the 80486, but here we can see the floating point unit. So this is the part added to this in order to work as a math coprocessor. So math coprocessor, whatever functionality is there, that is added in these units. So let us see detailed about this figure. So bus interface. Bus interface, this unit is responsible for providing the physical interface between 80486 and external devices. The bus unit consists of functional entities like address, drivers or receivers. So when 80486 is executing a bus cycle, the address drivers are used to drive the address onto the processor's local address bus, that is 822.831. So here this is a 32-bit processor. 32 stands for the 4 bytes, and 4 bytes, it means 4 memory banks will be there. So here memory bank, it means first 2 bits, A0 to A1, these are used in order to select either of the banks. The combinations of 2 bits generates 4 bits. So A2 to A31, these are used to drive by this, and the byte enable lines. So during cache invalid cycles, the address bits A4 to A31 are inputs on the processor's local address bus through the address receivers. Next comes the write buffers. So these four buffers allow the bus unit to buffer up to 4 write bus cycles from the processor, permitting these write operations to complete execution instantly. Data bus transceivers used to get data onto processor's local data bus during the write bus cycles, used to get data into the processor from the processor's local data bus during the read bus cycle. Next, bus size control logic senses when microprocessor is communicating with 8-bit or 16-bit devices, causing microprocessor to automatically execute multiple bus cycles when necessary. Bus control request sequencer determines the order of the addressing during the burst transfers. Next, burst control logic used to control the buses during the execution of burst transfer. Cache control logic connects the processor's local buses to the external cache control. Parity generator and checking logic automatically generates even parity on data being written by the microprocessor and checks for the valid even parity during the read bus cycle. Next, cache unit and paging unit. Instruction decoder. So here let us see about the cache unit. So this is 8 KB in size. Moreover, additional high-speed cache memory or provides a way of improving overall system performance. Also, it contains recently used instructions or data or both. The main aim is that microprocessor unit access code and data in cache most of the time. It means the data or code which are frequently used that are stored into cache unit instead of in main memory. So 80486 incorporates a cache controller and 8 KB of fast access static RAM. So this is a RAM which is having the this is a RAM, static RAM, and this is the most what you can say fastest memory, and this is much more costlier memory. The directory structure used by the cache controller is a 4-way set associative. Next, instruction unit, or we can say instruction pipeline or decode unit. So it decodes the instruction in queue and passes control and protection test unit. So instruction decode or pipeline unit consists of 3 basic parts: prefetcher, 32-byte code queue, and instruction decoder. So 80486 microprocessor incorporates a 5D pipeline that significantly speeds up the instruction decode and execution. Instruction prefetch, that is instruction queue, stage 1 decode, stage 2 decode, execution, and last one is register write back. So this is how the 5-stage pipelining has been achieved by the 80486. So whatever advanced processors are there, within that the stages of pipelining goes on increasing. So whatever Pentium series or Intel series are there, up to 32-bit stages of the pipelining can be there. So it means that here the way we move towards the more faster, the complexity of the instruction goes on increasing. Complexity increases, it means the execution of that instruction becomes much more difficult, and that's why the much more levels of the pipelining can be added to the given device. Next, instruction prefetch. Prefetches reads instruction in 16-byte blocks, that is lines, and the lines of code is read into both internal cache and 32-bit byte prefetch queue. And the last unit, segmentation and paging unit. They are part of MMU, which manages virtual memory system and helpful in generation of physical address. Works in same way as that of the 80486. And the last unit we come to the segmentation unit barrel. So here floating point unit is responsible for executing the uh, arithmetic instructions or floating point arithmetic. So this execution unit executes the instructions with the help of barrel shifter, ALU and register bank. So 80486 has built-in math coprocessor. It performs floating point operations. It executes math instructions 3 times faster than the previous combinations. So here we have covered almost every unit of the 80486. So I say that we covered almost every point of the chapter, and if you are having any doubts you can uh, connect with me via comments or via any mail. So thank you for listening to this video.